Hello everyone, my name's Allison and welcome to my channel. My channel is Green Goddess Plants and Seeds, and by the name of the channel it is primarily a gardening channel. However, I wanted to expand my content a little bit. I live in northern Saskatchewan in Canada, and our gardening season is short, and so I wanted to try and find some content that I could post in the wintertime. So this is my first Flosstube video, so I'm excited and a little bit nervous. But so if you're subscribed to my channel for the gardening content, don't worry, I will still be doing gardening videos. I still have to do a year-end update on the garden because it was a tough year for the garden. But I'm just adding some extra content that I can do during the winter months when there is no gardening to be done, other than maybe dreaming and browsing the seed catalogs and stuff like that. So no worries about that. So welcome to my first Flosstube. I've got a cup of tea here, and I've got a few things that I can share. A little bit about myself. I'm not a big crafter. I didn't really grow up doing crafts, not in my family anyway. So as I've gotten older into my adult years, I've sort of taken a little bit of interest. I have done some quilting. I haven't done any in a little while now. I just haven't had time. But I enjoyed it, but I found it's not as portable as other crafts. I have a house here in Saskatoon, but my boyfriend has a farm in Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan, which is like a three hour drive, and together we do a market garden. So my boyfriend, he does a grain farm and he has honeybees, and then together we do the vegetable market garden. Pardon me, sorry. I'm just using my phone as my camera, so it's shaking a little bit on the table. So I've only been doing cross stitch for a couple of years, and I'll show you what got me into cross stitch. I was actually in a Walmart, getting supplies and stuff and whatnot, and I saw this. And I am a huge Wallace and Gromit fan. I absolutely love Wallace and Gromit. And I saw this and I could not buy it. I had no clue how to do cross stitch. I had never done it before. I'd heard of it. I seen the magazines. It's like, yeah, whatever. But when I saw this, I had to get it. Now, like I said, I'm not a huge crafter, and I don't have a community of crafters, but I did have one friend who is very crafty, and she was more than happy to teach me how to cross stitch. So I didn't do that. Obviously to me it was a very big project. I mean, to others it's probably not, but I didn't do that right away. I actually started with some smaller things just to get going, just to kind of learn how to do it. And a lot of what I've done in terms of projects have been small projects, just because I don't have a lot of time, especially during the summer months when we are busy with the garden. I don't get hardly any stitching done at all. It pretty much takes up all of our time, and we're up early in the morning and we're going till almost midnight, and then we basically collapse in bed and get up and do it all over again. So during the summer, the garden pretty much takes a lot of my time, and I do drive it back and forth between Saskatoon and Meadow Lake, so it is a bit of a commute, but at the moment it's still working for me. I'm not sure for how much longer, but we'll see. But when I'm home, this is where even during the summer months when I'm at home in Saskatoon, that's the only time I get to work on anything. And quite often I'm just so exhausted that I don't get much done. Maybe a handful of stitches or something is all I can do. So most of my stitching is done in the winter time when we have more free time, when we're not busy outside trying to get stuff done. We do still have stuff to do. Like the regular farmers markets are done for the year, at least in the Meadow Lake area, they are done for the season. We have like a 2-week, 10-day break, and then we go into the fall and Christmas vendor markets. So not just crafts, but like all types of vendor markets. We do make, in addition to the vegetable garden, we also do like jams, jellies, relishes, preserves, the honey, of course, from the bees. So we do that through the winter into the fall and Christmas. So that keeps us busy too. But I do have more time, a little more time for stitching. So, yes, so the Wallace and Gromit was what got me into stitching, and I have to admit, I find cross stitch, it's very relaxing. I find it's how I de-stress. I've noticed that when I do sit down, I put my feet up, I can turn something on the TV, and I can just feel the stress just lifting. It's very, my mind is focused on something pleasant and positive, and it's not going off in a million directions. And so it's grounding, and it's de-stressing, and definitely far more portable than quilting. So like, I still like to do quilting, but it's harder to work on it and take it out to the farm and back and that kind of thing. So like I said, a lot of my projects that I've done have just been the small little projects that come in the magazines. That's where I've been working out of, just because it's convenient. It's easy. I can just, a lot of these smaller ones I don't put a hoop on because they're too small, and I find it too hard to hold on to with the hoop. So these ones I just stitch without, because they're small enough that I can do that, I guess. But these are what I kind of started out with. And I will show you, I did complete the Wallace and Gromit. I'm very impressed with myself for actually completing it. It does take, like I said, it does take me a long time to finish anything, even the small ones. It takes me a long time to finish, just because I don't get to stitch every day. But I'll show you my Wallace and Gromit. It won't win any prizes, but you know what, I'm happy with it. I'm not sure when it'll get framed, but hopefully at some point it will get framed and hung up on the wall. So, but I'm happy with it. I guess that's the most important thing, right? So, in terms of, like, I live in Saskatoon, which is a moderate-sized city. Like, it's not huge, but it's not small either. But for the size of the city, it's kind of, I don't know, in terms of craft supplies, it's kind of disappointing. Sorry. Yes, I'm gonna do a bit of a rant here and whatnot. Maybe that's part of my therapy, my winter therapy, and doing the Flosstube is, yeah. Sometimes it's hard to find stuff, and I often find I'm isolated, even though I'm not. And finding a community, I know in the last 5 years, I think a lot of us have lost communities, and at least I have, and I'm still struggling to find new communities and new people and new friends. And I think that's the other reason why I wanted to try the Flosstube, was to try to connect with a community that shares an interest. Because I'm a novice stitcher, I often feel a little out of place, like I don't belong because I'm new. I have watched some of the other Flosstube videos, and there's a lot of terminology being flung around that just goes right over my head. So, but it's a learning process, right? And that's important too, is just to be open and learning what there is. But in terms of craft supplies, there's not a lot of places around here for getting cross stitch and stuff. I mean, we do have a Michael's craft store, which I don't want to offend anyone, is disappointing. At least here, their cross stitch supplies are very poorly stocked, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. So I usually don't shop there. If I need floss, I will go to there's a quilting store, a small business quilting store that carries floss, and they carry Aida. They carry the pre-cut Aida, but they also have the bolts. So if you want a custom size cut, you can get one. But that's all they really carry. And I would rather buy my floss from that place and support that small business than anywhere else. But I started ordering a lot of kits online. One of my favorite companies is Bothy Threads in the UK. At the moment, I think that's the only place I've actually ordered from for cross-stitch supplies, simply because, well, sometimes it's hard to find businesses that are willing to ship internationally. I mean, there are other companies in the UK that I would like to order from, but they kind of don't want to ship internationally. I don't know. And Bothy Threads, they don't have any problems. They do it all the time. So most of my kits that I've purchased are Bothy Threads because of that. I haven't tried looking for, well, I shouldn't say that. I have tried looking at other businesses, and sometimes I don't find what I'm looking for, or I'm kind of particular about the style of artwork and stuff that I like. So I don't know, maybe that's a problem. Maybe that's probably my problem. I guess I should just expand, but but there's a lot that maybe don't want to ship internationally because it's expensive, and I totally get that. I totally get shipping is outrageous. Even when I'm ordering seeds, I order from multiple different seed companies, and some of them have very reasonable rates, which are okay, and then there's others that are just outrageous, and maybe they do that because they don't want to have to ship internationally. I don't know, but yeah, so trying to find places that will ship to Canada that won't charge a small fortune for shipping is challenging. I mean, I do get that I do get that shipping is expensive, but at the same time, there's at some point it does become unreasonable. So anyway, that's my rant for that. So in terms of other finishes that I've done, I've got a couple other finishes. Now, what did I do with them? I've started working on my Christmas cards. I thought, well, maybe this year I'll do some cross-stitch Christmas cards. So this is the first one I've done. This is a Bothy Threads. It's a Rendell design called Christmas Quackers. I finished this a little month. I started it in July and I finished it sometime in September, I think it was. So, okay, you won't win any prizes, but I'm happy with it. Still needs to be pressed, washed and pressed, and then I'll have to trim it up to go on the card. It did come, it was a kit, so it did come with the card and everything that you can put it in. And then last Christmas, on the spur of the moment, I decided to do this. So this is from last Christmas. It's another Rendell design from the calendar, I think that was issued, that she had last year. And it was a spur of the moment. I basically set everything else aside to work on this, and I started it at the beginning of December, and I finished it on the 26th of December. So, and of course, I still have to get it framed, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do that because framing is expensive, but we'll see. So I'm actually interested in how do you store your projects when they're finished? Like if they haven't been framed yet, are you storing them flat? I think I've seen a lot of people roll them up. I'm just not quite sure how or where to store them so they stay nice. So that's that. I don't have a lot of finished projects other than the small ones, and I don't have a lot of works in progress. I know it's somewhat normal to have lots of things on the go, but I'm sort of the kind of person that I don't like to do that too much, just because I like to finish stuff. I don't like having things unfinished. I don't know, it's just me. You know, and I always get irritated when I'm working on something, and then, you know, if it's something in the garden and I can't finish what I'm doing because I've been called away to do something else, I get really irritated when I can't finish the job in front of me. But I did start a couple of things. I do have another one in progress is another card. So this is another Bothy Threads. So this is Margaret Sherry's Swing Into Christmas. So that's what I've done, and that's what it's supposed to look like. So I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Like I've got the long stitch to do up in here, and then the lettering. And it does come with some gold stars that have to be sewn on, so I gotta do that as well. But otherwise, it's actually progressed quite nicely. I'm very happy with it. Again, no prizes, but you know, I'm happy. And then my birthday was just this past week, so I decided to do a new start for my birthday. I had a hard time deciding what to start. I do have several bothy kits that I've ordered that are sitting there waiting to be started. But I decided to go with a Halloween themed one because, you know, Halloween is coming up. So it's another Margaret Sherry, and it's the Trick or Treat. So that's the one that I've started. So everything that I've stitched is on Ada because I don't know how to do anything else at this point. Like I've only been stitching for 2 years, and I'm not quite ready yet to try anything else. So, but this is what I've done so far. So this is like the tip of the hat, and right up by where the hat, like the hat, this where am I here? This here, the hat, and just a little bit in here. So that's that's what I've done so far. Pardon me for my cough. That's unusual, but yeah, it's a nice start, a good start. Actually, I'm happy with that. I love the colors. They're nice, bright, cheerful colors, and it's just it looks like it's a fun stitch. I love this cat. The cat, that's just gorgeous. I love that. So I do have lots of cats. I'm a cat person. I'm also a tea person. I drink lots of tea, so I do love my cuppa. And I think that might be it. I'm hoping to do these, I don't know, maybe a couple times a month, just show my progress on stuff, and maybe that might keep me a little more accountable when I do work on stuff, just to show that yes, I have made progress. I do have some more stuff from Bothy Threads coming. I placed an order last Saturday, and on Monday it said it had been shipped, so I'm very happy with the service. I've also ordered their advent calendar for 2024. They have a cross-stitch advent calendar. I saw the one that they had for 2023. I'm like, ooh, that's cool. So I actually managed to get in on that for this year, so I will show that when it arrives as well. I'm looking forward to that. So I am looking for recommendations for places to order, you know, supplies and patterns and threads and that. So if you have any recommendations for places that are reputable, that have good customer service, that are willing to ship to Canada without charging an arm or leg, I'd be more than happy in your recommendations. Because I know there's lots of patterns out there, lots of patterns. I know there's more patterns out there than what I'll ever be able to do in my lifetime, but you know, one can dream, right? One can always dream. Yeah, so I think that's it for my first floss tube. I hope you'll join me again sometime, hopefully soon, before the end of the month. I'm hoping to do another one. Yeah, kind of running out of things to say, sorry. I guess I'm feeling a little bit self-conscious. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me for this. As I said, I hope you will join me again, and if you want to check out the gardening videos, please feel free to do so. And if you're into the gardening videos and you don't want to do the crafting, that's fine. I totally get that. But like I said before, it just gives me a little more content to post and keeps my channel more active during the winter months where I wasn't posting anything at all. So anyway, cheers. Have a great week. Hope your week is going well. Weekend's coming up. Yeah, until next time. Have a great day.